What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if Sucker Punch is now considered an elite developer. So I asked this question on Twitter yesterday. I know I've had another Ghost of Tsushima / Sucker Punchy video today. I kind of want to double up because I feel like this is important. You know, Sucker Punch has always been a studio that I think has been thought of very highly. Okay, back even with Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper, for me specifically, I grew up playing Sly, so Sly is one of my favorite franchises of all time. He's one of my favorite characters. I think Sucker Punch again did a phenomenal job with them. You look at what they did with Infamous, I think they did, again, an outstanding job. Second Son, I'll always have my issues with. I'm going to really hold true to my kind of conviction here. I think it's an okay game. I don't think it's an amazing game. I don't think it's a good game. I think it's probably like an average game. I think it probably deserves kind of the review scores that it got for it. First Light, I actually thought was a much better improvement. I actually thought they got a little bit better and was kind of looking forward to what they would do with the future of Infamous because, again, I feel like they stepped back. They took a step back with Second Son, but then First Light, I feel like they took a step forward. Now, I think the majority opinion didn't really agree with me. I think the majority didn't like First Light even less than Second. It kept going down. But then, obviously, Ghost of Tsushima, and it's been quite a long road, okay, to Ghost of Tsushima. It's part of what I've talked about for actually probably years on this channel, right, with kind of my concerns, kind of my worries of Ghost of Tsushima, that it's been 6 years, it's been a long time, we don't know what's gone on there, right, why did it take so long, is there going to be issues, is this game going to not be good, and Sucker Punch really, I think, back with Infamous, probably around Infamous 2 time, I think you probably would have considered them one of the top Sony first-party studios, okay, I really do think back then they belonged up there with, at the time, Naughty Dog, I think, was still absolutely outstanding, right? Even Santa Monica were making the God of War games, and they were amazing, right? It was a different kind of atmosphere, and Sony's obviously switched stuff up. They've closed a lot of studios. They've acquired some. Obviously, Guerrilla has changed majorly, right? Because back then they were kind of known for Killzone. Now it's more for Horizon, right? Now, Sony has Insomniac, where you can consider them at. So it's definitely changed up a bit, and I will say, I think after Infamous 2, okay, when it came to Second Son, when it came to First Light, and then the long period of time between that and Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like Sucker Punch kind of fell off the board. I feel like you probably wouldn't be, your opinion is definitely your own. I'm not going to try and change your opinion. I think I absolutely respect anybody's opinions, okay? I think, though, in my opinion, I wouldn't have called them an elite developer, okay? I would have said that they have definitely taken some steps back where they're kind of in a prove-it territory where it's like, okay, Ghost of Tsushima needs to be good to prove that they belong in the same kind of space as these other studios. Now, the question, and I know this is like a comparing video, and I like comparing things. I also get that it's kind of biased, and there's a lot of different ways of comparing, because you could say, all right, well, Ghost of Tsushima is an open-world game. Technically, the Infamous games have been open. You could even go back again with Sly and say those were open-world games. Do you compare them to other open-world studios? So now are we going to start comparing it to CD Projekt Red? Do we compare it to Rockstar? Like, what are we going to compare it to? For this, I'm mainly talking about Sony first part, so like Insomniac, Naughty Dog, all of these, Sony Santa Monica. Does it belong up there with the other very high, highly popular names, basically? I'll tell you this. I think it absolutely does. I honestly feel like Sucker Punch belongs up there. Like I said, I think they were around Infamous time when they were making Infamous 1, Infamous 2. I think they were probably at the top of their game. Although, you could even argue right now it's the top of their game. This game, Ghost of Tsushima, as I've said numerous times in these videos, has truly shocked me with how good it is. Now, I wasn't able to play it day one. I didn't play it Friday. It's taking me a little bit longer to play this game than normal, but I'm loving, honestly, every single second I'm in this game. So I'm nowhere near close to beating the game, but I'm honestly in love with this game. I think they're doing a phenomenal, I love the period piece. I love just all the mechanics of this game. Yes, there's definitely issues. This game is not perfect, okay, but it's definitely, for what it was trying to be, I think it nailed it, and it couldn't honestly be any closer to what they were trying to hit, okay? I truly do believe that. And even for that reason alone, I feel like they kind of deserve, they kind of deserve accolades for nailing that. This is a hard game. Even when I was saying in the past, like a couple weeks leading into this is a hard game, I feel like, to probably get people into, because you may want to jump into this game and you may say, I don't know, or when you jump into it, you may have different expectations. You may be like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to relate to a samurai piece. You know what I mean? Like samurai movies, that kind of thing doesn't get everybody. Sometimes it's cheesy to some people. Some people just don't like it altogether. it's not going to work for everybody. And by the way, I'm not saying this game is everybody on under the sun basically loves this game. I'm sure there's some people that maybe were disappointed and stuff like that, but I think the vast majority really do respect the work that Sucker Punch put into this game and really are looking at it very, very highly. So I think it's honestly only right that you say, you know what? They've had some struggles. They've been gone for 6 years. It's been over 6 years. Infamous came out February of 2014, so it's been almost 6.5 years since we have a Sucker Punch game. But I guess if you don't count First Light, it's been a very, very long time. And even when you have a spacing out like that, it is hard to kind of refer to them and say, man, well, they're one of the better Sony first-party studios. Well, why? They haven't made a game in 6 years. The last game they made was okay. It wasn't that great. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't like amazing, right? Didn't set benchmarks and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to say that. You could even say right now, and I'm sure people have said this, I feel like the narrative online has now been, let's put Sucker Punch above of Naughty Dog, like this was the game that Last of Us Part 2 should have been, all those kind of things. Again, your opinion of Last of Us Part 2 aside, I still think Naughty Dog is an elite developer. You could not think that, and it's totally cool. And I would understand, by the way, why you think that. I think in certain ways they've kind of fallen off, but I think in other ways they're still right there. Sucker Punch, I truly do believe, belongs there. And what's cool about this, and I know maybe the Sony fanboy, people are probably going to call me that, or, I'm talking about all these Sony first-party studios. It's nice to have a portfolio, if you're Sony, of these. I mean, again, think about the games that we have and the studios that we have at the top of the Sony, and then these aren't even all of them, by the way, but again, Naughty Dog, who makes a very specific kind of game, Sucker Punch, who makes a very other kind of specific, you know what I mean? Like, Sucker Punch games are not the same as Naughty Dog games, and they're not the same as Guerrilla, right? They're not the same as the Horizon games, Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like there's a lot of similarities there, not necessarily in how the game functions or how it works, but literally kind of the story behind it, I feel like. But Guerrilla, they make different kinds of games. You're not going to go into Horizon Forbidden West expecting Ghost of Tsushima, or at least I hope you're not going to do that. You have Insomniac, obviously, right, with Spider-Man and all the stuff they've done in the past. I mean, Sony has a very high, just a group of amazing, amazing developers, and it's great to see. If you're a PlayStation guy or a PlayStation gal, you're on a side, of the console wars, quote unquote, which I'm not a part of, but if you want to say you are, you're on a side that has a lot of amazing developers. I truly do believe Ghost of Tsushima put Sucker Punch back up on the board. I think they absolutely belong there. The quality of this game is insanely well. Now, again, would I start going to compare them to Rockstar or to like CD Projekt Red? I don't think. I mean, this could be a bold thing. I don't think they're as good as open world games as CD Projekt Red is. Now, that could be very, a very, minority kind of opinion. I just don't think that. But again, I'm not really like when I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, and again, I think that's the point. The Ghost of Tsushima, when you're playing it, I'm not really thinking about Witcher. I'm not thinking about these other open world games. I'm not thinking about action-adventure games that I've gotten from Naughty Dog, or games that, like Days Gone. I mean, keep listing out other open world games as well, right? I mean, again, it's a period piece. They're trying to tell the story of a samurai, right? And I think they absolutely nail it. There's issues, there's bugs, there's weird camera angles. I mean, there are definitely issues with this game, but I love the storytelling. I love the characters. I really didn't think I would actually like the characters in this game. I love them. I think there's actually a lot of amazing characters that they've created in this game, so I'm honestly shocked. I'm honestly very shocked that they were able to put this together, and I think just from that, and that also, by the way, that kind of biasness, or even the biasness of people set their expectations maybe a little bit lower for Ghost of Tsushima, and because it kind of blew through expectations, now we kind of heap praise on Sucker Punch. I mean, elevate them higher than Naughty Dog, higher than, name your studio that you want to elevate them higher than. I do think that does exist. I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't. I think that because, like, specifically for me, Ghost of Tsushima was a game that I was very much looking forward to. I could not wait to play it. I was going to play it day one no matter what. And ironically, I actually didn't, but it's just because I was in a different state at the time. But it was also a game that had a lot of worries. I was very, very concerned about that. I felt like there was a lot of things that could go wrong with it. And I think maybe because of that, when I jumped into this world, I was like, you know what? My God, they nailed it. Like, I mean, there's nothing to be concerned about. They did great. Whereas with, I've said this before, right? With The Last of Us Part 2, part of an established franchise. Naughty Dog, I mean, it doesn't really get more highly respectable than what Naughty Dog has made in the past. Expectations were through the roof. It was also leaked. It also had a whole lot of problems, on that kind of side to it, which did definitely affect it. But Naughty Dog definitely had, I feel like, a higher bar that they had to hit. They themselves put themselves at a very high bar. Sucker Punch, I feel like, kind of made it easy for themselves, because with Infamous Second Son being a little shaky and 6 years off, nobody's really, again, looking their way. Now, I'm not saying nobody was excited for this game. There was definitely excitement, but I think people, I don't think they were expecting the greatest game of all time. I think they have their expectations for the most part in check. And even if they did expect a lot of great things, I think it achieved all of them. I think, honestly, this is a game that really did hit pretty much every expectations you could have thought of, especially for a studio like this that's had some tough times and been gone for so long. They absolutely nailed it. Now, I hope they make a new game sooner than 6. I mean, I do not want to wait 6 more years to get another Sucker Punch game. They got to move faster than that. Do we get sequels? Do we get a different kind of game? I made that video earlier today, so you can check that out if you guys haven't already. But I think they're definitely back up on the map. They're definitely back up as one of the top tier Sony, studios. Maybe you could say studios in the entire world in gaming. I mean, that's definitely an argument you can make as well. And honestly, I couldn't be happier for them. I honestly really do. When I say I congratulate Sucker Punch, when I've said that on Twitter and stuff, congrats to them, I really do mean it. They definitely did a fantastic job, and everybody there honestly should be very, very proud of their work. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Is Sucker Punch an elite developer now? Where would you kind of rank them in Sony Studios and just all of gaming? Where do you think they kind of stand there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and I'll be continuing my Ghost of Tsushima coverage, a new video at least one every single day for the next little while. Got lots of different stuff I want to talk about with this game, and I hope to see you guys there.